Here's a short sequence that you can do in the mornings when you wake up for a little pick-me-up, or maybe in the middle of the day when you've got a few minutes to spare. It's a focus on core and hips. So bring your hands around to the front. We're going to start in tabletop position, knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Make some big spread of those fingers. And then drop your belly, lift your gaze, lift your heart in the front for a cow pose. Take a breath in. And exhale, round the back into a cat pose. We're going to push the ground away and really hollow out the belly here. Take a deep exhale. And then let your belly hang down, slide your heart forward, lift your gaze, drop your shoulders down the back. And exhale, round into that cat back, hollowing out the belly, really push the ground away. And one more time, inhale, slide your heart through center, lift your gaze, open the front of the body. And exhale, round through the back, push the ground away, and really feel like your belly is pulling into your spine, activating the core muscles, and then come into a neutral spine. Relax. With the toes tucked under, we're going to float the knees up and then belly towards thighs for a little crouching down dog. Take a breath and exhale, lift your hips up. You're welcome to leave the knees bent as you come into down dog. Pedal one heel at a time to the ground. Just push it in, open the back of the leg and switch legs. Walk your dog out. Switching again, dropping the heel towards the ground. And one more time on that opposite leg. And pause in your downward facing dog. Straight legs or bent knees, whatever feels good to you. See if you can get some length from the fingertips to the hips. Take another breath. And we're all going to bend our knees and step the right foot outside that right hand, coming into a wide lunge. And then step back to your downward facing dog, bent knees or straight legs. Bend the knees so you can kind of crouch and step the left foot out wide, lengthening through the heart. Be mindful that you're not just sagging in the hips. Keep that back leg strong. Step back, downward facing dog. Find a little crouch, right foot steps wide. Toes can turn out. You can even drop that back knee if you'd like. And then step back. Nice big breath out in your down dog, crouch, and inhale, step left foot. Knee can drop if you like. We're going to do two more. Step back, downward facing dog, and step the right foot out wide. Knee up or down, you choose. If it's up, keep the leg long and strong. Pull the heart forward, and exhale back. Last one, left foot steps wide. Lengthen the heart forward. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Pause here. Take a breath. And walk your hands to your feet. So you're going to bend your knees to get there. Maybe your heels drop, maybe they stay up. Let your head drop in a forward fold with bent knees. So belly towards thighs. Press through the inside edges of your feet and roll your way up to standing. Shoulders drop down the back. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And then find that left wrist. You're going to lean over to the right, push your hips to the left. Inhale up through center, switch arms, and exhale, lean to the left, pushing the hips to the right. Inhale up, and exhale, bring the hands down. Take another breath in, reach up, reach through your fingertips, meet the palms, and exhale, bow all the way over. Let your head drop, your knees can bend. You're going to bring your right foot more center and take your left foot behind the right. So big toes are on opposite sides. Push through those big toes, and if your shins meet, push that back shin into the front and the front to the back. Let your head drop here. Pushing down through the big toes is going to help you get into those outer hips. And then if you're feeling safe, you can walk your hands around towards the right. That's towards the back leg. Let your head drop. You're just going to get a little more pull out of that outer left hip. Breathe out. Bringing the hands back to center. Unwrap the legs, set them center so they feel even on each side. Slide your hands up the shins and lift your heart halfway up. It's like a little bit of a cowl back here. Exhale, fold down. We're going to take the opposite foot behind. So you're going to bring the right foot more, or the left foot more center, and the right foot around to the opposite side. Push through the big toes. Let your head drop. If your shins meet, actively push the back shin and the front shin towards each other. Let your head hang. If your knees are bent, it's just fine. Really push into those big toes. And then maybe walk your hands around to the left towards that back foot, whichever foot you have in the back. Feeling that slight pull on the outer right hip. Bring your hands back to center. Unwrap your legs. Reposition them so they're about hip width with a little space between. And then inhale, slide your hands up the shins, bend your knees and pull your heart forward. Exhale, fold in. Press through the big toe side of your feet. Bend the knees, roll your way up to standing. And take a big breath in, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. Take your feet out a little bit wider, as wide as the edges of your mat, and maybe even turn your toes out. We're going to squat down. Doesn't matter how far you get, as long as you can get your hands to the ground. Walk your right hand, your left hand, your right hand out. Come to a plank position, line the hands up. If you want, your knees can drop. Notice how your toes turned to face the edges of your mat and your knees are facing down. Walk back, knees down or up. Left hand, right hand, left hand. Come to that squat. And then rise up, reach the arms up, meet the hands. We're going to squat right back down. And this time you're going to start with left hand, right hand, left hand. Find that plank position, knees down or up. If you drop your knees, try to keep them back from your hips so you're not in tabletop and you're actively using the core rather than sitting the hips over the knees. And then we'll lift the knees or keep them down as you walk back, right, left, right. We're going to build onto this. So hands to heart, rise up and exhale, squat back down. Right hand starts, left hand, right hand, left hand, and reach that right arm out. So again, option the knees down. Hold your plank, hollow your belly out like you did in that cat pose. Bring the hand down, walk your way back. Heels drop as you get there. And then rise up, reach the arms wide. Exhale, squat right back down. We're going with the other arm. So we're going to go left hand, right, right. Reach that left. Holding, scoop the belly in. Don't let the hips hang. We're actively engaging the core. Walk back. Find the squat. Reach the arms wide and come all the way up. Come on back down. You're going to do 2 more. So right hand, left hand, left plants. Right's going to reach. Hollow the belly. Walk it back. Letting the feet come to the ground. Option, you're just staying in your squat, or else rise up. This is teaching you to get from the ground up to standing. One more time. We'll go left, right. Right lands, left reaches. Hollow the belly out. See if you can get the bicep up by the ear. Walk it back. So we're going to add on a little bit more. Inhale, reach up. Just one more set on each leg. Squat down. This time we're going to walk to a plank. Take it left, right, line them up. Hollowing out your belly here. You have choices. You can stay in your plank, scoop the belly in, get active. You can drop to a knee plank, pause here. Or come with me. We're going to bring that right knee into the chest, hollow the belly. And as you step back, it's all right to go narrower onto your mat. Exhale, left knee in. Step back, right knee. Exhale, pull the knee close. Step back, left. You're going to do 4 more. Right, exhale. Keep pushing the ground away like you did in cat. Left. 2 more. Right and left. Take your feet wide again. Walk your hands back. Squat down. Reach up. Just one more time. Exhale, sink down. right hand, left hand, right hand, line them up. Pause here, make your choice. Knees, stay in your plank the whole time. Make sure your hips are in line, a diagonal line from your shoulders to your knees or to your heels. Scoop the belly in, left knee. Exhale, go a little quicker. Right knee, hop, left knee, right knee, left knee, right knee. 2 more, left knee, right knee. Hold your plank and drop your knees. Sit back in child's pose. So hips to heels, arms long, head drops. Take your elbows close to your head. Bend the elbows, meet your palms, and bring them over the back of your neck. So the good news is the hard work is over. Hopefully you build a little sweat. We're going to release the hands. Walk your hands in and make your way to your bottom, sweeping your legs around to the front. Sit up nice and tall. Extend your legs. Hands by hips. Push through the heels. Just lengthen out the legs. Lift through the heart for a moment. Push through your heels so much your quads get engaged and your heels might even pop off the ground because your calves are engaged. And then relax. You're going to bend your knees. Take your feet off your mat. Right knee is going to drop to the mat in front of your right hip. So line the knee up and line the shin up as best as you can with the top of your mat and flex the foot. This left leg, knee comes out across from the hip, a 90-degree bend in both legs if you can. Ankle is behind the knee. So sit here for a moment and notice the contact you have with the right hip, the right knee, and the right ankle. Push them firmly to the ground. You're going to take your right arm, slide it out to the side, drop to the elbow. Take that left arm, just a nice big arc overhead, pushing both knees into the ground. And then turn and look at the ground by your right hand. Drop the left arm. It can stay palm. You could rotate a little more and drop to the forearm. A little bit of a twist here. And if you want, you can lift your hands up and walk them a little farther to the back for more of a twist. And then what are you doing with your neck? Are you just dropping it? Can you lift and lengthen the back of the neck? Walking your hands around to the front. Bring them in front of your shin. So we're going to move into our pigeon pose. Your choice to leave that back leg where it is or extend it. It can be out to the side. Mostly concerned that this front leg stays right where it is. All ankle, knee, and hip to the ground. If you want that back leg, wiggle it around onto your mat, toes go down. This hip is going to be floating and that's fine. Flex the front foot and then stay for a moment, lifted heart. If you want, you can have blocks here under your hands. That'll give you a little more lift to the chest, a little more support when we come down. And then we're going to walk our way down to our forearms. And if you have those blocks, they're going to sit right underneath the forearms. And then if you want, you can just let your head drop over the front leg. I want you to be really mindful though that the front knee, ankle, and hip are still on the ground. This is stretching the outer front hip. Let your head rest on either a block or the back of your hands and exhale. Take a couple of deep breaths right here. Relaxing the body over the front leg. Then you're going to set your hands back to the ground, lift up. We're going to bend that back knee again. And we're going to lift both knees and drop them off to the back. So just a little tick-tock of your legs and then off to the front. So you're moving from the hip joint here, rocking back and forth. You can use your hands for support or you can bring them to your heart and just rock side to side. And then we're going to land the knees on the back side. That left knee drops. Go ahead and shift yourself so you're on your mat and line that back knee up with your hip. I'm going to give it a swivel around here so you can see from the front. Your knee is going to be lined up with the hip, your shin as best as you can lined up with the top of your mat. Back knee out across from the hip. Doesn't matter if these legs are a little askew from that. What matters is that we make the contact with the knee, the ankle, and the hip, because that's where the stretch is going to come from. And slide that left arm out, drop to the elbow, reach the right arm up, just get a nice big side body stretch here. Nice deep exhale. And then inhale, drop that right arm as you turn to look at the ground. Maybe the elbows up, doesn't matter. You're getting a little bit of a rotation in the spine, out of the hips and opening the low back. If you want it a little more, you can lift both elbows and walk the hands to the back, and then lift your gaze a little bit so your neck is in line with your spine. Walk your hands around to the front. Bring them in front of that shin, and then you choose what you want to do with the back leg. It can stay bent or take it long. It can be out to the side. You can rock the top of the foot to the ground, or you can wiggle it all the way behind you. Doesn't matter where it lands. This is the important piece, is this front leg making contact with the ground. Stay lifted for a moment. You can even come to fingertips or slide those blocks under your hands. And then exhale, walk down to your forearms. Just noticing how it feels in your body. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Walk down to maybe the backs of your hands or your blocks. Remember that right hip is going to be floating off the ground. We're not trying to square it to the ground. We're sinking into that outer left hip. Let your body relax over that front leg. And if you're upright because it's just too tight, then you can stay here and then you can rebend that back leg if that feels better. You're still going to get that stretch in the front leg. We're going to soften the muscles with the breath, taking that inhale and then just a nice deep exhale. And then go ahead, walk your hands in, lift your chest up, bend that back leg, and we're gonna rock those hips again. So lifting the knees, rock to the front. You'll be rocking to the front, I'm rocking to the back. Rock again. If you wanna try without the hands on the ground, you're gonna use a little more core as you rock the hips and the knees back and forward. I want you to land with your knees towards the front of your mat. And then bring your hands down. You're going to swing your legs around to that long leg position again. Go ahead and find those sitting bones. You might have to pull your cheeks back a little bit to actually sit deeply. Roll the shoulders back again. Push through the heels. Lift up in what we call our stick pose. Lifting the heart, dropping the shoulders. And then relax the legs. You're going to draw the right knee in and set that ankle on top of the left leg. Hands are going to go behind. This might be enough for you. Ankle knee pose, flexing that left foot, pushing the right knee down, or flexing the right foot and the left. Pushing the right knee down. Bend the left leg if you'd like a little more. But I want you to be really mindful that you didn't just round in the back here. So you're going to use the hands and draw the shoulders back and lift the heart up. Take a breath. And as you sit here, push that right knee towards the ground if you need a little more outer hip intensity stretch. Flexing the left foot just to keep the leg active. And maybe you can scoot that left leg in a little closer, but again, be mindful that you've got that nice long spine. And release the left leg long again if it's bent. Slide that right knee as far as you can across the left knee. And then see if you can square your hips up a little bit. They're going to be a little off balance. Your left foot might be more center, it might not be. Lift up nice and tall here. We're going to try and keep this nice long spine as we tip forward. So if you start to round in the belly, you're going to back off. And those blocks on the sides are going to help you if you have them. I want you just to bring your hands to your sides and start to lead with the heart. A little tip towards that right thigh. Take your gaze out in front. That's going to help keep you from just dropping and rounding. Maybe look at your toes or look past them and feel that stretch. You might feel it on the left leg. And if the left leg doesn't want to go straight or the top leg is still ankle knee, this is just fine. Just a nice hinge at the hips. And then lift up and we'll do the other leg. So straighten the right leg. Find the evenness in your sitting bones, pushing back. Sit tall again. And then bend that left knee. Ankle knee pose, bring it across. Drop that left knee. Flex that left foot. Sit tall. Start here. If that feels okay, or you're not even feeling a little bit of a stretch, then I want you to bend that right leg and be mindful that you didn't just drop and round. Push your belly forward, lift your heart up, push the knee towards the ground to activate that outer hip. Maybe even a little closer. Use your hands for support. Right knee is going to extend again. Left leg is going to come across. If you can, it's knee to knee. If it's ankle knee, it's fine. Sit up nice and tall. Take a breath as you extend the spine. Maybe you stay here. Maybe this is enough and you're feeling a stretch. If you want a little bit more, you're going to start to hinge at the hips, but you're going to keep that nice long spine. Still pushing through the right heel, and that'll give you a little hamstring stretch as well. And you might actually feel it a little more in the right outer hip. Inhale, lift up. Unwrap that left leg. Take it long, push through both heels one more time, sit up as tall as you can. So we're gonna roll down with long legs, but if you're pretty new to this, you're gonna bend your knees and scoop the belly to roll down. Otherwise, keep the legs long and then scoop the belly, reach your arms around. Scoop that belly in like you've just been sucker punched, and then slowly roll down to your back. We're gonna take one more hip stretch and a twist. Coming down to your back, bend the knees. Extend the right leg to the sky and cross it over the left. And then lift your knees. And we're going to curl up and reach for either the calves or the shins or the ankles. So we just curled up and arched and rounded our back. Now we're going to lay our shoulders back down to the ground and our head back down. And then your work is going to be getting the sitting bones down to the ground, lengthening the spine, and pushing this front knee into the front knee, into the back knee, and back knee into the front knee, moving them away from your belly and flexing your feet, pushing them into your hands. Pause here. So you can even work on pulling them more across each other. And if your hands are around your shins, this just position might be enough. You may not need to activate the muscles. We're going to release the hold, drop that left foot to the ground, keep the cross, open the arms, and drop the knees over to the left. Just a little twist. If this position on your legs is uncomfortable, uncross them a little bit. Let that top leg relax over the bottom leg. And then whatever feels good on your neck. If you want to take your head in the opposite direction, go ahead. But you're welcome to just leave it facing straight up. Inhale, both legs back to center and uncross that right leg. Take your feet to the edges of your mat and just windshield wiper them back a little bit, releasing the hips before we do the other side. Come on back to center. Extend the left leg up. Cross that top leg over. lift the knees. And if this is enough, you can just hold your hands behind the back of the thighs. If you want a little bit more, you're going to slide your hands around the calves or the shin. Maybe curl up to really get forward to those ankles, those heels. And then lower the shoulders, lower the head, let the upper body sink into the ground. And then actively push the front knee into the back and the back to the front. And then see if you can push the heels into the hands and pull the heels with the hands. So we're working against our body for a little resistance, push and pull. Maybe even feel like you're pulling your legs more across each other. Take a deep breath out. Release the hold. Let that right foot come to the ground. Keep the top leg where it is. Drop the knees over to the right. And then readjust those legs for whatever feels best to you. Drop that left shoulder down. Readjust your gaze. And then inhale your legs back to center. Uncross the legs. Set your feet again to the edges of your mat. Just releasing the low back, windshield wiper the legs back and forth. And then know that you can take a few minutes here resting on your back or repeat any of those stretches we just did, or maybe even do all the core work again. Thanks.